Microphone. Microphone should be on. There we go. Microphone. Have we got? Oh, probably haven't got all the soundproof and stuff. Have we got? Oh, probably haven't got all the soundproof and stuff. Can't remember how he did it. Filters. Oh, we have got it on. Oh, that's good. I've still got it right. Hopefully. Oh, we have got it on. This is working. I've still got it right. Hopefully. I hope this is working. I've still got it right. Hopefully. I hope. I'm gonna try and zoom it in. I'm gonna try and. No, it's that one, isn't it? In. Try and. No, it's that one, isn't it? In. One hoops. One hoops. We've got zoom control. We've got zoom control. We've got zoom control. Webcam free, isn't it? This is going to be confusing because I'll have to set up 3 webcam sources. Be confusing because I'll have to set up 3 webcam sources. That's not the one we're on. Then it's that one. Video capture device. And then it's that one. Properties. Video capture device. And then it's that one. Properties. Camera control. As much as we can zoom. Oh no, we can zoom in more. How does that look? I'd zoom right in. Zoom in more. How does that look? I'd zoom right in. Zoom in more. How does that look? That looks better, doesn't it? Just pull the camera back. Hey, Todd. Pull the camera back. Hey, Todd. How does that look? That looks better. How does that look? Hopefully this is working. I don't know one's in the chat right now, so I can't tell. I can't tell if this is working. I'm going to have to look at me on chat right now, so I can't tell. I can't tell if this is working. I'm going to have to look at me on chat right now, so I can't tell. I can't tell if this is working. I'm going to have to look at me on chat right now, so I can't tell. I can't tell if this is working. I'm going to have to look at me on chat right now, so I can't tell. It looks like it's working. It looks like it's working. It looks like it's yeah, it looks like it's working and it's not lagging. That's good. I just checked on the app. Yeah, it looks like it's working. It's not right, I'm gonna do this because if I sit down on the couch, I'm gonna be quite low down. Oh, actually, that's not too bad. If I sit down on the couch. Alright, so mics are picking me up all the way over here. Yes, it is. Excellent. Mics are picking me up all the way over here. Yes, it is. Excellent. Right, let's do another test. Let's do a cut test. Let's do another test. But quite dark. Cut test. Okay, we might need more light. Quite dark. Test. Okay, we might need more light. Right. Oh, actually, is that better with the lamp on? Right. Oh, actually, is that better with the lamp on? Yeah, probably was. Right. How does that come up on the camera? It does. Right. How does that come up on the camera? It does. And it is blurry. How does that come up on the camera? That way maybe, so you can see it. Blurry. And that way maybe, so you can see it. Yeah, that is not blurry. That is. And that way maybe, so you can see it. Yeah, that is not blurry. That is. Yeah, that is not blurry. We need more light over here. By the webcam, maybe. We need more light over here. By the webcam, maybe. We need more light over here. I should explain why I'm doing this. So, what's happening is it comes over here. What's happening is earlier today, Mr. White, Blazing Phoenix, did a test stream from Stream Deck, because on Wednesday, so day after tomorrow, he's getting a visit from Shamblism and Irish Empire, and he's going to stream Josh, Irish Josh being in Pandemic board game, and he's going to stream from Stream Deck, and he also wanted to do Boss Monster, which we both have, but when he was using the cards up to the camera, because of the limitations of the Stream Deck and the bad lighting, the cards are blurry. Also, he can theoretically only have one camera that can have, two, was that now? Hence why I've got the little frame set up for the other cameras. I might change this layout between now and then. I might get rid of the chat box, or make the chat box smaller. I haven't decided how I'm going to do it yet. I presume the chat is working. I should test that, because this is actually my old PC. It's a bit of a makeshift thing, so I'm using my own PC. I put in a spare hard drive, a very old hard drive that Windows on that I don't use anymore, which I've never got around to back up on Whiteman. So that's what we're running the PC on, my old PC. I'm using my TV so I can see the chat and the stream. This is my normal webcam. This is my mic. No webcam for PC upstairs. And this is a makeshift table I made with some colour boxes, because I can't move on Thursday. We will use my dining table, which will move into here, but I can't move it on my own. So for testing purposes, I made a makeshift table. I've also dug out my old wireless mounted keyboard that I used to use, because then that's ideal for this thing. And I need to check that the chat's working, like it's coming up on the restream thing, because I haven't used this PC in a very long time, like 2-3 years ago. Right, that has come up in the chat box. So the writing is absolutely tiny, isn't it? I've just noticed that. Right, that has come up in the chat box. So the writing is absolutely tiny. A massive text box, a tiny writing. That seems to be objective, doesn't it? Can I do something about that? Not from that screen, because no, it should be. It should come into chat. It's that, isn't it? That's the chat thing. Get into chat. If we do test, put it in the chat, because nobody's talking right now. I'd make that that makes the box bigger. Right, I don't want to make the box bigger. I want to make the chat bigger. Okay, so I need to go to the chat. Scene, where is that? That's there. Cap chat. Make that slightly bigger. Oh, it's gone off, so I have to do it in the test. Make that slightly bigger. Oh, it's gone off, so I have to do it in the test. Test. I mean, that's bigger than it was, isn't it? That's much better, actually. That's much better, actually. Right, that's better. So we go back to that now. That's better. That looks bigger. But I may have to reduce that chat box in general. So I can make that bigger. If we make that smaller, I'm doing loads of test messages because there's nobody in chat talking to me right now. I can barely make out the writing if we make that small, I think. So I can't really tell if somebody comes on, but what we can do is we can take this is how old this is. It's got tip jaws on. Tip jaws coming off. This is how old this is. It's got tip jaws on. Tip jaws coming off. Also, we can take. This is how old this is. It's got tip jaws on. I'm just thinking the best ways to. So basically, the idea was going to be you've got 3 cameras. So I'm going to have my camera. Miss Phoenix has 2 cameras, and the idea is we're going to have. Sit down now. We're going to have one cam. It's going to be pointing at the table on a tripod. A bit like this, but a bit better angle of the table. Going to have another camera on a tripod. That's going to be a large shot, so you can see all of us sat around the table because you can be 6 of us. And then got a third camera, and that's also going to be a tripod. And then a third camera, which is going to be a free cam, which is going to just so when people's turns is because it's a turn-based thing. Either they or the person next to them will have the camera and they'll point and you can see their dungeon. Because from the tabletop cam, you're only going to really see the town, which is the centre, where all the cards get placed in. That's my plan. Will you someone in chat who could tell me what this is like? Will you someone in chat who could tell me what this is like? Will you someone in chat who could tell me what this is like? Will you someone in chat who could tell me what this is like? So yes. But we might have to play around with the boxes, maybe. Play around with the. Could we put 2 boxes, maybe? Could we put 2? Oh, Everald, hello! Finally, someone in the chat who could tell me what this looks like. So, I can't see the flaming. I'm sat down here. I can't see the sources. So, there's no. Phoenix, hello sir, hello. I've got no bot running, so I can't I've got no. I don't think I can shout out without the bot. Turn the mic down a bit. I don't think I can shout out. Oh yeah, the mic's in the red. Just noticed that. See, this is my old PC, so it's not as finely tuned as it. I haven't used this in quite a few years. So turn that right down in the yellow now. We're in the red before. That's better. You can hear me twice. Oh, do you know what that'll be? Mod view. There you go. Right. So, what's happening is, as Phoenix don't know, Phoenix earlier. I'm gonna sit down again. Phoenix earlier did a test stream for me stream deck to see because he wanted to do Pandemic, the board game, on Wednesday when Champism and Ice Empire are going to be here. And then he was doing Boss Monster card because he's going to do Boss Monster, but when he showed the cards, they were blurry. And that's possibly due to the lighting, possibly due to the Stream Deck limitations, and also you can only have 2 webcams. Whereas I can do 3, as you can see from the frame. So I took out my old PC, stuck a spare hard drive in it, my very old hard drive that has Windows 10 on it. Fired up the PC. It took me a good hour to get everything set up, and I made a makeshift table out of cardboard boxes because I can't bring the plan is on Wednesday I'll bring my dining table into here. This is my living room, by the way, but I can't do it on my own. So I've made a test table with some cardboard boxes. So there's not playing like you can do with a stick PC for streaming. What do you mean a stick PC? I mean, this is literally my old PC. It's down there. A very old hard drive and Windows 10 on, and it's got from about 5 years ago, possibly. But so also, so let's do it. So now that we've got people here and you can tell them what it looks like, let's do a card test. So I've got the same cards, exact same cards that Mr. Phoenix tested earlier. Yeah. Special cards this one. So let's see what now. I'm aware that it is quite dark on this side of the room where the camera is. Yeah. Right. So there is the crash card. I'm aware that it is quite dark, isn't it, where the camera is? We might need some lighting near the camera. But that is not blurry. It's just, I'd say that's not blurry at all. I'd say what's happening, you're getting a reflection from the camera. But I would say that is not. Hang on, line it up. I can read on the preview that says crash. I couldn't make that out at all on yours. See, that is not blurry. See the picture, you can make out the text. On yours, you couldn't make out the text at all. See, I can see on the preview that says crash. Yeah. So that's showing it much better. I'm aware that it is quite dark. So maybe we need a lamp. I've got a lamp on as well in the corner, which might help. I don't know if I can reach. Will that reach the whip? It might do. Yeah. There's lighting, I think. Oh, well, it will. Right, there we go. Right, so I brought the lamp next to the webcam, so that should have a bit more light. Try that now. Actually, how about that? Is that too much light? See that now? It's not blurry. It shows up. You can read it. There you go. If I do that without the light, turn both these lights off, it's too dark, isn't it? With that on, that's perfect. You can read it. It's in focus. See? It's in focus there. You can read it. It wasn't focused at all when you did it. You see? So, that works. As you can see, I've set up a few other webcam boxes, so I've modified this screen. So the idea is, I don't think you can turn off the blue cam lights. That indicates the camera's switched on. I don't think you can turn them off. So the idea is, we'll have three cameras set up. We'll have this. So my camera and two of Miss Phoenix's cameras. We're gonna have one that's going to be a tabletop view on the tripod, which this is on, and you'll be able to see a tabletop down view of the table. We'll have another one on the tripod, which will be from a distance, so you can see all of us sat around the table. And then there'll be a third camera, which won't be on a tripod, which will be free cam. So when players taking the turn, one of us can point it at the person's dungeon, so you can see what they're doing. Because you'll not be able to see the town and a person's dungeon on the same camera. So you'll see the dungeon on the table, you'll see the town on the tabletop cam, and then you'll see the player's dungeon when it's their turn with the free cam. Is my idea. So that's why I've got these three different webcam boxes. I've set up three webcam sources, scenes. So I can theoretically switch. If I go to here, this is where it gets complicated, not that one. If I turn that off there, go to this one, turn it on there, I'm now down here. I've moved. Someone said the streamer black tape to turn off those, or put black tape over the light. It's a bit extreme. So I'm down here now, and then I can also, if I go off that and I go to that one, I'm now up here. So I have three different camera sources, and we'll just have to configure them to see which one's the better one for each thing. I also am not entirely sure which camera's going to go where. If I go back to that one, go to there. No, that's the wrong one. Problem is, when on this view, it condenses the scene box, so I can't read out the. I'll put it back there. There we go. Right. Someone says it needs to go up there. It's too small anyway. Well, I'll probably make that box in the corner bigger. The only thing is, it's going to make the chat box smaller, but I can make that bigger. I can do it like this because this isn't my main OBS thing, so I can fiddle about this as much as I want. So I can make that bigger. So that is that one. So I can make that bigger like that. We can move stuff about. If I make that chat box smaller, it's going to make the right smaller. That's the only problem. Especially when we want to make the centres one as big as possible and the others adjust. Yeah, I mean the centre one probably, because the biggest view you're going to need is the tabletop, so you can see what's going on the table. So that's probably going to be this one. I'm thinking the view of all of us sat on the table will be the corner one, this one, and then the one underneath this one will be the one with the person's hand on the table, the free cam. Is what I'm thinking. But yeah, it seems to work. Let's just, I tell you what, should we try that as a free cam? So if we switch the camera source, so only problem I've only got one cam, so I can't test everything at once, but if we switch to the turn that off, switch to the bottom one, which is that one. So this is going to be the free cam box. If I now, I'm going to have to unscrew the camera from the tripod, so you're going to spin around for a moment. Right. Now, I don't know how much flex I have with this, probably enough. So, this is the setup. So there's the chart and the OBS, and there's my PC down there. It's a tripod. Don't know how much flex I've got with this. Not a lot. So we'll just do it with me. But so see, this is the cards here. So we'll just put them on the. How does that look? So realise that light's going to reflect on it. So I'll move that out the way maybe, because I get a light reflection on it. Actually, that's ceiling light reflection on it. I'm sure. Right. I mean, it looks loads better. Yours was completely blurry the whole time. You're also not going to have the function to have free. So you'll see it'll be like that. So you'll see in the top, the big box, you'll see the tabletop. This down here, you'll see whoever's player's turn it is. You'll see their hand. Push it to centre stage. Well, no, because the tabletop's going to be up there, so you can see the whole table. So this is going to be the person's hand, and this is going to be free cam, so they can move this about. So if you can't read it, they can move it in, so you can see. But yeah, that seems to be in focus. And then in the top left, it'll be an aerial shot of the whole table, so you can see everybody. I'm thinking, but yeah, that will work. The only thing we've got light reflecting on the card. Is that the ceiling light, or is that the lamp light? I'm feeling it's the ceiling light. Pop that there a second. Just turn the ceiling light off as a test. I know it's going to be really dark, but right. So that was the ceiling light. That's what the reflection was. Okay, that's going to be an slightly issue. That the ceiling light's going to reflect onto the cards. Don't know how we get around that. My FPS has gone down. Can't OBS, my FPS is 30 FPS. What I'm in at. And I am I tell them like, yeah, because it was dark. Are you seeing perfect when I had the light off, Edward? Turn the light off again. Yeah, see there's no reflection now from the lamp. I've heard lamp on the table. So yeah, so you can make out the cards pretty well there. They're not blurry at all, that you can make them out, you can see the names. I zoom in, the text is a bit harder on that one, but if I go on that one, so you can make out the text, it's not blurry. Yeah. The problem is with this low level of lighting, it's going to make the rest of the table quite dark. So if we have a camera like up there, for example, getting an aerial shot of the table, It's not too bad actually. I mean, my cam. This theoretically, this should be able to run 3 cameras. Right, I don't have a second camera, unfortunately. The 2 and 3 I'm going to borrow off Phoenix. As a backup plan, if this doesn't work, I can always bring my main PC downstairs. See how dark it is without the light on? Yeah. Well, I can't test it. I haven't got 2 cameras. Have I? So, unless you want to bring 2 cameras on tomorrow to test it, I can't. How dark? Actually, that doesn't look too bad. Is it lighting wise? So that's just with the lamp on. There's no ceiling light on. And the curtains are shut, so there's no natural light coming in. Yes, so there's not a lot I can do about that without 2 cameras. The other 2 cameras, but theoretically, it should be fine because they're not running anything else other than OBS. I haven't even got a Stream Deck or software or anything set up on this machine. Which I probably could do because that could run some trees on. But in a minute, it's running nothing but the OBS. I don't think the only problem is I can't zoom it in any further than that. That's the only issue without software running, which I think wouldn't work with 3 cameras anyway. I think that would just confuse the issue. Oh, my OBS is frozen. So the stream may have frozen. That's fine. Oh, there we go. Should be back now. Are we okay now? Yes, I think we're back on now. We're okay. Just go up in the settings. It froze. In fact, I don't think that's even the wrong setting. I don't know why I went in there in the first place. But so we turn that off. Go back to that one. Turn it back on there. Back up there we go. It never was gone. Oh, well, it's just my end. It froze. Yeah, I don't think I can zoom. I think that is zoomed in as far as it's possibly going to zoom in. It's also got autofocus on. Maybe I should turn that off because that's just going to cause. Can you zoom out? Yeah, so this is zoomed in as far as if I zoom it out. Just using OBS's controls. That's as far out as it zooms. And I just that way. Yeah. So yeah, I just need to figure out the size of the boxes, which is tricky to do without the actual camera hooked up to it. Where let's come off that. Where is the logo? I want to move that. I mean, I may have to jiggle about the boxes. I would make the chat box smaller, but I make it smaller. It makes the text in the chat smaller because it's all linked to one source. You see. I mean, the other option is just to remove that box altogether. Hit the chat off altogether. Perhaps. I just don't think I can. Yeah, I can't make that box any bigger because of the thing. Yeah, I'd have to make this one that I'm in right now smaller to make the one below it bigger. pain. Also, I should point out as well that my actual dining table won't be as high as this. It'll be slightly lower, but this is just a test table. Yeah, I can't. I'd have to make this smaller to make that bigger, if that makes sense. Unless I made it the same size. I can't see the frame thing is a problem. We made that a touch smaller, and then made the other one the same size. Which one's that? That one. Made that a similar size. No, it's not gonna quite fit. But see, if you got a table cam, then the question is, where would nobody sit? Cover the corner with the second box. So the table cam's going to be like on an angle up a height, so it's going to be a tabletop view. So for example, what I could do, let me just move this box. I've just had a thought about the tabletop. So there's going to be one that's going to be tabletop down view, so you can see, because the way Boss wants to work is that everybody has their own hand, which goes on the table, which is called the dungeon, and then there's a hand in the middle of the table, which is the town. So my theory is, if we have a top-down one, you'll be able to see the town, and then when people take a turn and they're playing in the dungeon, that's what the free cam will be for. We can just pass it around so you can see it. And then the third camera will be an external shot of everybody sat around the table. But what we'll do, let me just move that box. I was hoping I could make two the same, but I can't. Do it like that sort of thing and make that slightly bigger. Do something like that. But what we could do, the tabletop one, will be something like, I'm trying to think how we'll do this. What the best way to do it would be, because the town's going to be, assuming the table's going to go the same way this is going, which I guess it will do. It's going to have to be something like this. Point it down at the table, like that. And then you've got a full view of the table. Now I realise that that's kind of not showing the whole table, so I'm going to have to pull it back. Right, that's too far back now, because you've not got it. It's a bit higher. Oh, hang on, this extends, doesn't it? I believe. Am I right? Does this extend there? No, I don't think it does. That's not. To move it a little bit like that. It doesn't seem flat. When I'm looking at it on there, it looks like it's. So it would be like that sort of thing. So there you've got a view of most of the table. It just won't stay in position there. But there, so like that, you have a view of the majority of the table. Well, it's not going to be this table, so it's going to be down table. It'll be 6 of us. However, what we could do, we could zoom that in, because realistically on that, all you're going to need to see, want to see with that is the town, which is the hand in the middle of the table. So we could probably zoom that in, so you guys can see what's in the centre of the table, what's in town, what's been spawned. And but yeah, there'd be 6 of us. So we were going to use because Mr. Phoenix has a Boss Monster huge 6-player mat thing. However, I don't think it's gonna work with people sat all there on the table. So I think what we're gonna have to do is have 3 people sat on the couch, 2 people sat. So we've got an armchair at this end. So have an armchair, one down chair because armchair's a little next to it at one side, and then have another chair at the other side, because we can't put any chairs in the front of the table because that's where the camera's going to be. So it might be a bit of a squat, but we'll work it out. The only other thing to do for the table cam, side cam, is stand it on the stairs over there. But the zoom, I don't think the zoom will be that good. Crash! Hello, sir. Hello. Let me just put the camera. I've just got a test. So I've just got a test table because I can't move my own table in on my own. So let me just push this back so you can see what's going on. Right. So basically, I don't know if you read all the message I sent in the chat earlier in our chat group. Oh, that's no good. But basically, Chris did a test stream earlier with his Stream Deck, and I'll see if I can zoom that back in now. And because he wants to stream Pandemic with Ava and Josh when they were on Wednesday, and he also wanted to do Boss Monster, but when he brought the cards up to the screen, it was too blurry. You couldn't read it. Let me just go into my webcam thingy, and I will. Which one is it? Which one am I on? I've got 3 webcams also set up now. It's that one. And we will zoom it in. Camera control, zoom in. There we go. Oh, that's better. There we go. There we go. Right, that's better. You can see me now. Hello. I'll zoom it a bit closer to the table. How long's the round tip? That varies. That depends on how many enemies a person pulls. Because that's better. You can see me now. Hello. Yeah. So that chat's. I'm gonna have to push the chat up because I can't see what's going on in the chat window. Hang on. Yeah. So Crash. Yeah. So we did this test earlier, and we couldn't see the cards are blurry. So I said, well, it'll work for Pandemic because the board game we don't need to be that zoomed in. When it comes to doing card games, it'll not work. However, we talked about for ages about me being able to stream it here. So I have the same cards that Chris used, just for comparison. And if I put the card up to the camera, you can read it. You see, it's not blurry. See, you can make out what that says. The text is a little harder because it's tiny. It will eventually focus. Eventually. But you can make out the name of the card. Whereas when Chris did it, the whole thing was blurry. You couldn't make out the thing whatsoever. Tilt it. That focusing in there. I did turn the autofocus off because I thought that might be causing more harm than good. Yes, I did disable autofocus. It might be the light. I turned them in, seeing the light off. Is that? Hang on, possibly too close. you don't have autofocus, you need to dial it yourself. There is no focus dial on this camera. So I can't do that. Actually, I can. There will be a manual focus thing in the settings though. Or I could turn auto back. No, that's the wrong settings thing. That'll freeze the streaming. If I go to the main settings on OBS, it freezes OBS. I don't know why it does that. But this is my. I don't know if you can still hear me. It'll sort itself out in a second. There we go. Right, so if I go into the which one is it? I've got 3 different webcam sources set up because the idea is, Crash, is that the bigger box here, the bigger camera, that'll be a tabletop view of the table so people can see what's in town. The box in the left hand corner, that will be because I have 3 cameras, that will be the shot of the room so you can see everybody. And then the one below will be a free cam that won't be on a tripod, which we can pass around and so you can see people's hands, you can see their dungeons. Eva, hello, hello, hello. Right, I'm going to turn autofocus back on. Configure video. And also this is just a temporary table. I can't move my dining table in on my own. So this is all just right, if I turn the autofocus back on, right? The autofocus back on. And now show that up to the camera. Take the studio preview off so I can see what's going on. I'm trying to hold it in the right angle so you can see it. There, I can see that's in focus now because I can read it through the preview. See, that's in focus, right? If I move that out, that's in focus. When Phoenix did it, it was completely blurry, you couldn't read it, but that you can read. You can read the text, you make the text out. So, the way it works is, this is the main cam, this will have a tabletop view. Well, the actual table, not cardboard box thing. If I tilt the camera down, I'll give you an idea of what it'll be like that. So you'll be able to see. There'll be a hand of cards in the middle of the table. 5 cards, and that'll be your well, depending on your company, that'll be your town. And then we'll then have in the left-hand corner. This is when it got tricky. If I go studio mode, hit that one, turn that off there, go to that one, turn it on. That's the wrong one, that's the wrong source, it's that one. I'm now in this corner, right? This corner will be, if I move the camera out, a very long shot, like that, so you can see the whole table. And so you can see everybody sat around it. You can see everybody. You'll be able to see all 6 people sat around the table. The only catch we're going to have is we can't have anybody sat here because they'll be blocking the view. So we'll have to figure out how we're going to do that. It might mean that we can't use Chris's mat, big mat, because we're going to have to, some people are going to have to sit, like we're going to have 2 on one side of the table, for example. So we're going to have maybe 3 people on the couch. There's an armchair here. I don't know how long the table is. I've never tried putting it in here. But there's an armchair just here, which you can just see if I move the camera. I'm out the way. See, there's an armchair there. You just make it out onto the stairs. So I'll have someone sat there. We'll have a dining chair next to that, so there'll be two on basically on this edge. Be 3 people where I am, so that's 5, and then I'll probably sit here because I'm the host, so I'll be this side. So, but the only thing that I just realised is we'll have to figure out the angle to get, because at the minute you can't see where the armchair is, so they're not being on stream. That's a very good point. So the camera's going to have to be. That's a very good point. How are we going to get that chair on camera? It's not. I'm not thought about that. How are we going to get that on camera? It's going to have to be zoomed out more. We zoomed it in, didn't we? Did I not zoom it in? So if I zoom it out again, that probably help. Configure video. Camera control. Yes, I did. Zoom it right out. How does that look? So we want to get. Is that gonna work? Are we gonna get the armchair in? We're not gonna get the armchair in and the chair both sides, are we? Not from that angle. I don't know. Anyone suggestions? How am I going to get both sides of the? Actually, I have to say that chair's pushed really far back. That probably doesn't help. I'll push this chair forward. Now that works. Now the chair's in. So if somebody sat there, so if I sit here, you can see me, can't you? Yes. That's fine. And what we'll do, this sofa, we'll just push it along a little bit. Because we can see all of this. So we can push the sofa along to here. That'll work. Push the sofa along to there, like that. So that's not obstructing that whoever sat there. 3 people here. We've got the armchair and a dining chair there. It's going to be tight for space, but we'll manage. And then I'll be sat on a chair here. So yeah, that'll work. That will work. We'll all get on then. That will work. And then in the bottom box, which I'll have to switch to now, so I'll turn this off. Go down to the bottom box. Which is it that one? Yeah. This one is going to be, I'm going to have to unscrew the camera again. Just apologise when I do that. This is going to be a free cam. So when players are playing, the person next to them can hold the camera and you can see their dungeon like that. And so you can see the cards, you can see what they've got in the dungeon. They can, because it's free cam, they can zoom in if people can't see it, and then they'll just simply pass it on to them. I'm not concerned about the cable length, so I might have to, at the minute it's plugged in the back of the PC. I might have to try and get the PC, either turn the PC round because it's a bit more length, because you see at the minute it's plugged into the back. Can't really tell that. I'll try and get it working on the front. I have a feeling the front port USB ports don't work. But yeah, so that'll be down here. So you'll be seeing the person's hand down here. You'll be seeing the tabletop view, the box above, so you can see the town, and you'll be seeing a whole room view in the top left. That's my plan. So, are you still there, Chris? What do you think of that idea? The cable's a bit tangled up on the thing. Tighten the camera up a little bit. Okay, we'll just switch back to the main view, which is that one, I believe. Oops, is it that one? Yeah. Oops, I've actually switched the thing now. I pressed the wrong button. I've gone to the source. Should be that one. Oh, I'm in both boxes at once. I didn't mean to do that. The problem with Chris's camera, well, two things. First of all, Chris can't have 3 cameras on his Steam Deck. You only have 2. That's the first problem. And the second problem is, it's not just his lighting. It's something to do with his setup. His camera was far too blurry. You can't. It doesn't matter if a pandemic, a board game, because a board game you don't need to see it right up close. But when he did the cards test with his cards up the camera, you couldn't read it at all. It was so blurry, it was unreadable. So I said we can do pandemic it is because you don't need to be close up. But I suggested that we did Boss Wants to Hear, and he was alright with that, and Ava and Josh were alright with that. So, and then I asked you and Rod in the chat. But he can't run more than 2 cameras, and if he zooms his cameras in, it becomes too blurry. And the problem he's got, one of the light problems he's got, is he has no curtains that he can close in his living room. He just has blinds, so he has no way to stop the light coming in. He has no extra light sources. So I have a lamp, which is what's giving us the light here. He doesn't have that. So, because I just thought if he did it and you can't see the cards, it's kind of pointless. Because then people can't see what's happening. So that's why I suggested doing it here, and I can do the 3 camera setup as well. So they can see us, they can see the person's dungeon, and they can see the town all at the same time. So what do you think of that then, Crash? I can actually bring that one on as well, so you can see all 3 sources at once there. It's all the same camera. This is me and Trio. But obviously on the day, each one needs to be separate cameras and different angles. But yeah, so the top left again will be the shot, pretty much what it looks like now, so you can see everybody around it. The middle box, the biggest box, will be zoomed in on the tabletop, so you can see the town, and then the bottom box will be the freehand camera, so you can see people's dungeons, and we can just pass it around. And Chris is going to bring his 2 cameras for that. So what do you think of that, Crash? Also, we'll still go for teaspoons beforehand. That's still happening. So we can probably meet you there. They'll be walking up and back down again and back up again. But yeah, I'm projecting the same camera source 3 times, and it's fine. Well, no, initially he wanted to do Boss Monster at his house, but when I explained to him that it was, and everybody in the chat was saying the same thing, it was blurry, and when I explained to him that I had the function to have 3 cameras, first of all, because he can only have 2, so that's a bonus, and then second of all was that, as you say, you can make out the cards, you can see them. So it'll look better. Not like board games wise, his setup's fine because you don't need to see zoomed in on the board. You can kind of figure out what's going on. You don't need to see the text. But with card games, the people watching need to see the text on the card. So his setup, you can't do that. Limitation to the Stream Deck, I guess, but all the lighting. And as I said, you can't do anything about the natural lighting in his room because he has no curtains. Whereas I do. So, and I have a lamp, so I'm much better placed. I'm a bit dark over here now for you to actually see that. Yeah, it's too dark over here. The only thing is, we'll have to bring the dining table in. We'll have to lift that in on Wednesday because I can't do that on my own. So I'm not going to get that in. The other thing, as I said before, is I don't think we're going to be able to use the big 6-player mat because we can't all sit. So like nobody can sit this side of the table because it's going to be. Yes, there will get a few people on there. Actually, we can get another chair in here. To be fair, see where I am now with the Hoover. See where I'm stood? We can get a chair in here. There's space to get a chair in. So we'll get the sofa and a dining chair there. We've got the armchair here, which you can't see now. This is where I'm sat here. There's an armchair here. Let me just turn that around a little bit. You can see the armchair. So we'll have an armchair here. We'll have the sofa and a chair in the corner. We'll have another chair to the left of the armchair here. And then I'll be sat on the other dining chair here. So we're not going to be able to do the mat because the mat has the dungeon all the way around the table, and we can't use this side of the table because it's going to be blocking the camera and our chat and everything. So, but we'll manage. We'll figure it out. We could possibly use Chris's little mat. That might work better. But I can't think of anywhere else, any other way. Obviously, don't forget that my dining table's bigger. So we'll have more space than we'll have because if you're looking at this cardboard thing, it doesn't look like there's a lot of space, but this is much smaller than the actual table. But it's just I couldn't get it in my own, so I made a makeshift table out of cardboard boxes. But yeah, look, I'm running the same webcam feed 3 times, and it's went fine. So, and this is my old PC as well, Crash. So this can stay like obviously the webcam, the mic I use when we went upstairs, but. Once we get set up on this, we can just leave it like that. If we want to do this again, but yeah. So I believe the plan for Wednesday, after speaking to Chris earlier, is me and Chris are finishing work about 1:30, 2 o'clock on Wednesday, which is around about the time Ava and Josh will get here. They're staying. Actually, just across the street from that place we went for the meal with Starion, if you remember that, Crash. I'm gonna go over to Chris's Mr. Spurs around 1:30, 2 o'clock is when I finish. And the 4 of us are gonna do Pandemic. Because I think it's only 4 players. And Chris is gonna stream it. So that's about 1:30, 2-ish on Wednesday. We're presuming that we'll be finished by tea time, by about 5, which is when we're guessing you might be ready to come over. And then we'll meet you at our local Spoons and we'll have some tea. And then we'll come back up and we'll come to here and we'll do a game of Boss Monster. If there's time, Ava or Josh, I can't remember which one, asked if they could do. They've got an Uno game that they're bringing with them, which I forget the name of. So we have time, we might do that, but that'll probably not be on stream. Oh, you come at 1 o'clock. Oh, okay. I mean, that also works. I just don't know if Pandemic is more than 4 players. I have a feeling it's not. Unless he has expansions, because I googled it and it didn't. But I don't know whether Rod's going to be around in the afternoon. But he's around the evening. Whether he's around the afternoon. So I don't know if Ava was in the chat a minute ago. Ava, you're with Josh, aren't you? Can you ask him? Is it? I did say earlier something about the expansion bits, 5 players or something. If it's 5 players, we'll do 5 players. I think. But there's going to be the thing with that is there'll be even less space in Crystal living room to get everybody around the table. Because he's got in Crystal living room he's got like shelving units against the wall, and various other things. But I suppose we could try, and if not, we could maybe, if it's a short game, we could maybe sort of do a couple of games and just change his playing. Pandemic thing. Let me just. If he's got the expansion, I think expansions allow more than 4 people. Depends if he's got the expansions or not. He said he had 2 games, different pandemic games, but he didn't mention whether one was the expansion or not, or whether it was a. He didn't clarify. If Ava's still in the chat, she might be able to find out for us, but. Let's just zoom it back in. But yeah, that is working. The PC is fine to stream webcams because we're not running anything else. I could set up the Stream Deck software, possibly, and stream a bot. Which I might do. But it's obvious it froze again. Oh, it's gone red. Coding overloaded. It's just dropped some frames there. But yeah. So I think that's a successful test. What do you think of the layout crash, if you're still there? Also, as a backup plan, if once you plug the 3 cameras in, it suddenly goes really slow and it's not workable, I can always bring my main PC downstairs as a backup plan. Yeah. So as I said, the top left will be a wide shot of the room so you can see everybody. The middle, the big one, will be a tabletop shot of the table so you can see the town, and then the bottom one will be the free cam, which will just pass around and people can point it at their dungeon so you can see people's dungeon when they're taking their turns. Because what you would have done if Chris had done it, what you would have got is you would have had 2 screens. You would have had a wide shot of the whole room, and then you would have had another shot which would have been zoomed in of the table, and all you'd be able to see pretty much is Chris's dungeon and maybe a bit of the town, and that's it. And you wouldn't be able to read the cards. So it's just like, it's not really, it's counterproductive him streaming it if nobody can make out anything on the table. So I want to explain that to him. And he also, I think initially thought I was just new pandemic of it, but I wasn't. Once I clarified that, he was like, alright, okay. I think it's just a limitation of the Stream Deck. Because you can only have 2 cameras. And obviously the Stream Deck is nowhere near as powerful as a PC, so it's running the OBS, it's running the cameras. And he had some other bits and pieces running in the background, like so it's, you know, the limitation of the Stream Deck, I think. But yeah, so that's a pretty successful test. Obviously, the only thing I can't test is having the 3 cameras running, because I don't have Mr. Finks's 2 cameras here to try to test it. I did suggest him bring them up tomorrow, but he's working all day, so I'm not be able to test it till actual on the day. But the layout is set up, the PC set up. I'm not streaming tomorrow night, so I can just leave the webcam and the microphone set up in the living room here. So all I have to do on Wednesday is, when everybody gets here, is bring the table in, set the chairs up, which is quite easy, and then plug Phoenix's 2 webcams in, put one on the tripod, and then yeah, hopefully the PC will run the 3 webcams, and then we're good to go. If the other thing is music, but I can that should be fairly easy to set up. Which I realise I haven't had any music running for the whole stream, but I should be able to do that. Something I probably should have thought about, because I haven't had any music in the whole stream. I just log in, sign in. And I've got, as you can see, I'm using a wireless mouse and keyboard that I used to use, so we don't have to worry about that reaching anything. Now, how just to curb me, the music's gonna have to be low because I don't want the webcam, don't want the mic to pick it up. So if I just get the code, allow the code, please. 9. Okay, trust this browser. Yeah. Right. So, Vertical Records. Right, just play a Vertical Record track in the background. Browser update needed, what? Right, okay, fine. We'll do it through YouTube just for the test because I'm not going to update it while I'm streaming because that'll slow everything down. The query. I can't see the chat right now, so if you're saying something I can't see it. So that's the other limitation. We've only got one screen. I could set up a second screen, just put the chat on, but then that's taking up more space. So I'm not sure how to do that.
With drug discovery tools powered by Dell AI Factory with NVIDIA, you can analyze data in real time and turn research into reality.
Alright, we're getting no, it's playing, but we're getting no sound. Why are we getting no sound? Oh, because it's not set to the... There we go. Right, now we're getting sound. Now I have a feeling that volume, Mike's going to pick it up. Yes, it is. So... Are you hearing the music twice? You're looking at OBS, it's very faintly picking it up. Right, that's picking up at that volume. Okay, so turn it down. Still picking up the background noise. Which it shouldn't, because we've got the filters on. We've got the noise compression filters on, so it shouldn't be picking it up. Ah, actually, noise suppression wasn't on. That's why noise suppression wasn't on. Now it's not picking up the background music at all. Another bit. Okay, that's picking it up, so turn it down. Okay, at that volume, the mic's not picking up the music at all. So there we go, that's fine. That's fine. So there we go, we've got music, we've got webcam. All we need now is the other two cameras and then people here. But yeah, I think we're good to go. Yeah, the mic is not picking up the music at all at that volume. If I turn up any higher, the music, it picks it up, but this one doesn't. But yeah, that is perfect. So yeah, I think we are good to go for Wednesday, Crash. Also, we've got to get the table in here and sort out the chairs situation. And as a backup plan, if all of a sudden, like once I plug Chris's two cameras in, if all of a sudden the whole thing goes really slowly, then I can just bring down the upstairs PC down. It's a backup plan. So we have contingencies. But it just means I'll have to somehow get a copy of this layout onto the upstairs machine. But right, yeah, so that's good. I'm happy that's working. Can I go to the end screen? Is that set up? It is, but there's no there's no background on it. Okay, go to studio mode. Be that. Copy. Go to end. Yeah, so as I say, we in terms of layout and everything seems to work fine, sound's working. Yeah, I can play the music and you guys can't hear it, so that's fine. So you can hear it, but you can't hear it over the mic. We need to sort out and camera stuff, but we can't do that until we get the actual table in here. And I need to look at getting StreamerBot and Stream Deck software on here, possibly. But yes, everything seems to be golden. Does the start screen have a button? Yeah, it does. The start screen's fine. So I think Snaz is Snaz on here to do a quick check. Yes, it is. So Snaz is already on. So that's fine. But we haven't got StreamerBot. I think the Stream Deck software is on. I have a feeling it is on. Oh, actually, it is running. Let's see, is it working? See it in the running, but the phone's not connected to it. So it's running, but the phone won't connect to it. Let's just restart Stream Deck software. But yeah, I need to get StreamerBot on here. Is there anything we're missing? Right. It might be that it's not connecting because it needs updating. Probably what it is. Because the app will have updated, but the thing wouldn't. Updating now. Never said this long before on stream. Let me have sat down the whole stream. Just installing the update. Might as well test it. This is working while on stream. Oh, I can't. I've got to restart OBS. But I can't test it. I've got to restart OBS. So I'll have to stop stream. But yeah, so all I need to do is get StreamBot on here, really. Stream Deck's on, Stanza's on, just to get StreamBot on, and then should be fine. So yeah, that's a successful test. I'm going to leave it there, but I should now be able to go to the end screen. Now it's background on. There we go. I will be back Wednesday evening. Probably, I'm not going to say this is a bit of setup because we're going for dinner. We're going to do Pandemic stream in the afternoon at Phoenix's house, which I would reckon. By the way, Chris, just to say, if you're still there, you used to come at 1. Chris hasn't finished work at 1:30, and I don't know if Rod's about. Just to let you know. So the plan is, Phoenix's stream between 1:30 and 2 o'clock. He's going to start his Pandemic board game stream, which we reckon will take a couple of hours. Maybe more. We do a couple of games if we want to play, and then so I reckon that'll all be done with by tea time, by 5ish, and then we'll go down to we're gonna go out for something to eat for an hour or so. So we're potentially looking at maybe it could be 7 o'clock by the time we start setting up, 6-7 o'clock on Wednesday, maybe. And then in terms of the rest of the week, it's gonna be a funny week. This I'm playing with the idea of Thursday and Friday doing, because I'm off work for Easter, doing day streams Thursday and Friday and doing like a road trip on New Simulator 2 with my wheel. But that's for then. But until then, thank you all for joining me and giving your feedback on how the stream looks. I'm excited for Wednesday. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everything will work. And yeah, we'll see you all then. After the man who stopped streaming. So yeah, until then, thank you all for watching. An awesome review. Good night.